Tyra Banks' hit reality TV series America's Next Top Model became a worldwide phenomenon that launched a lot of aspiring models' careers. But in recent years, we've noticed some disturbing behavior and course of action that she did in the show. For today, we'll be sharing with you Tyra Banks' worst moments revealed and why she's being canceled. So keep on watching to know more. Firstly, Tyra Banks drew backlash after controversial ANTM scenes went viral. We could blame it on the pandemic and people being locked inside their homes, as well as America's Next Top Model made available for streaming in Amazon Prime. But Tyra Banks being put in the limelight in recent months has got people talking. First premiered in May 2003, America's Next Top Model, or simply ANTM, has been running for 24 seasons now and moved from different cable, with aspiring models tasked with a weekly challenge. Only one of them will be hailed as the next top model. Tyra Banks took pride in herself as the show's host and executive producer, where she advocates a lot of issues rampant in the modeling industry, although clumsily in hindsight, that are rampant to this day. But rewatching the series, we've listed down some of the cringe-worthy moments with the former supermodel that screams cancel culture, such as the following. Next, Tyra Banks instructs lesbian model how to present herself. One particular moment that stood out in the online community involves Tyra Banks telling top model aspirant Kim Stoltz how to carry herself. During Stoltz's first meeting with the judges, she didn't hesitate to present herself as proud to be gay, to which the show's host didn't quite agree. "I've got a little more of a, I don't want to say masculine, but a masculine look," Stoltz explains of herself. "I want to be out. I'm gay and I'm really proud of it," she told Tyra, Jay Manuel, and runway expert Jay Alexander. Banks' reply to her statement is contradictory to say the least, and looks as if she's instructing Stoltz to downplay her identity. "I'm black and proud, but I'm not walking down the red carpet like I'm black, she replied to Kim. "No, I certainly won't walk down the red carpet and try to kiss girls on the way. That's not what I'm going to do," the reality star responded. If this scene took place anytime in recent years, Banks would have trended on different social media platforms for her dismissive take on Stoltz's sexuality. Truth be told, even her co-host and fellow judge at the show, Jay Miranda, was also appalled at what she said to the aspiring model. Miranda, being openly gay and flamboyant about his orientation, admitted in an interview with Variety, published last 2020, that he was uncomfortable with what Banks did. "I could see Tyra trying to draw the parallel and what she was trying to illustrate, and I was confused by it," Miranda recollected. "Because we ask these girls to come in the room, and the producers remind the girls before they come in, tell them who you are. You're not just a pretty face. You have to have a discussion about who you are." A few years later, Stoltz shared with MTV back in 2008 about her experience on the show, which fans managed to dig up in line with dragging Banks' name recently. As much as we should applaud the subversive topics that ANTM has covered in its reign thus far, physical and sexual abuse, homelessness, female circumcision, gayness, we must also accept that there were moments when those issues were clearly exploited for entertainment value, Stoltz expressed in a statement ahead of a season that featured the show's first transgender model. "Maybe we can't blame Tyra for this. After all, it's business, right?" Up next, calling out a model's feature and wanting to fix it. Danielle "Danny" Evans was the crowned top model in Cycle 6, but even she wasn't safe from Tyra Banks' questionable and problematic opinions during the season. Danny is notably known for her gap teeth, and one of the viral moments that dragged Tyra Banks' name in the mud involved telling her why she doesn't want her to close the gap in her teeth. Back then, we brushed it off, seeing no harm done on Danny, but in truth, there are a lot more people out there who were made insecure by Banks' comment. Since the video became viral, Danny personally addressed the matter, explaining explaining what went on behind the scenes. During the episode, the girls were required to visit the dentist, and when it was her turn, the dentist kept asking Danny if she wanted to close her gap, to which she refused. This exchange went back and forth a couple of times, but didn't make it to the final cut. But it seems the producers deliberately failed to inform the host of what happened when Danny finally came face to face with her. She felt like Danny didn't listen to her request. There even came a time when Danny got hospitalized and was advised to stay and recuperate, which she went against to participate in one of the photo shoot challenges. Can you call this dedication, or does this qualify for inhumane work conditions? Another one to mention is weight-shaming models and even blaming them for being harassed. Another Cycle 4 contestant that had it rough was Kenya Hill. There were 2 instances that recent viewers of the show highlighted that drew criticism to ANTM's host. In one of the challenges, Kenya had to work with a male model who touched her inappropriately, but instead of siding with her, Banks only told her off and blamed her for how she should have been more assertive and poorly handled the situation. This wasn't the only occasion wherein an aspiring model was uncomfortable with her partner during the shoot. In Cycle 7, Jada had the misfortune of being paired with a male model who doesn't like black girls, which is the reason for his untoward behavior. Instead of finding a better solution, Banks and the rest of the panel responded that it's part of the job and she had to make things work. And that's not even the worst of it. Models are required to fit in a certain mold, so they constantly need to keep their weights in check. Throughout the series, Kenya managed to gain a bit of weight, for which she was shamed for. In one particular photo shoot, Kenya was made to embody the sin gluttony and dressed like an elephant. All the while, cameras panned in on her stomach. It even came to a point where she got scolded because her photos needed a lot of retouches. Like Kenya, another model that got shamed for her weight was Cycle 7's Anshul, who was assigned to dress as the giant woman for their carnival-themed photo shoot. Next, she exploited a model's trauma for the show. Lisa D'Amato was crowned as the top model in the All-Star Cycle, wherein D'Amato slammed Banks for exploiting her childhood traumas for the show's ratings. D'Amato made the brave decision of making an appearance in an episode of True Hollywood Story, where she risked breach of contract by discussing the horrifying realities of what took place in the show. The model tearfully expressed in the video that she did this since she felt it was her duty to warn other girls who were considering auditioning for the show. And the way that you guys would poke me and use my childhood trauma against me day in and day out, D'Amato stated in the video with a trembling voice. It was just so effed up, and it broke my heart. Like, how could you do that? She continued, I don't know how you sleep at night. You, Tyra, you knew very well the horrible trauma that my mom inflicted on me. The show had several black-faced photo shoots. During Cycle 7, the aspiring models had their skin darkened as the week's challenge. It was meant to portray different races than their own, but this absent-minded racism received a lot of backlashes now compared to back then. In her eyes, Banks only wanted to portray beauty and diversity, but as we know, to tread such a topic is like walking on thin ice. And then it happened for a second time during Cycle 13 back in 2009 in what the show called a biracial-themed photo shoot. I'm sorry to anybody that watched Top Model and was offended by the pictures because they didn't understand the real story behind them, or even if you did see the whole episode and you were still offended, I truly apologize because that is not my intention, Tyra said in an interview in 2009. My intention is to spread beauty and break down barriers. Lastly, slut-shamed top model aspirants. Even some of the girls' personal lives have no escape from Tyra Banks' scrutinizing eyes. Gina, an aspirant from Cycle 24 back in 2018, revealed that the host, as well as the judges, shamed her for posing for Playboy. Then there's Angelia, a two-time contestant who participated in Cycles 14 and 17, who was disqualified from the show. In 2014, she filed a lawsuit against Banks, alleging she disqualified her for disclosing that she worked as an escort. Although Tyra Banks has addressed some of these issues last year, anti-fans and even fans are still on the lookout for the supermodel's problematic choices back then. So who knows that's when her name will pop up again on the trending list. With that, we're ending today's video about Tyra Banks' worst moments revealed. Do you think she deserves to be canceled? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on, and we'll see you next time.